was watching a video that had a lot of meaning. The video was talking about normal, average, regular people. And I have a message for the people who are coming here to Personal Capital. If you want a normal life, you don't want to drive a fancy car. You don't want to live in $1 million house. You don't want the pressure, the stress of running a business. Let me say, number one, congratulations to you for knowing what you want out of life. And number two, there's nothing wrong with that. And number three, personal capital isn't for you. So if you want like a regular life, you don't want much, and if that makes you happy, that's perfectly fine. But once again, personal capital isn't for you. Personal capital is for people who are hard charging, people who want more out of life. It's for that person who wants a Porsche, a Lamborghini, a Lotus, a Bentley, a Mercedes Benz, a Maybach. This is for the person who wants to live in $1 million house. This is for a person that wants the freedom to travel the world. This is for the person who wants those finer things in life. Now, one of the things that you will run into is to get these things, it's going to require work and effort. Now, that is one of the biggest problems with this, because once again, you want to be a high level person. I'm not going to say high value man. I think that's kind of ridiculous. I don't think on a one-to-one level that one human being is more important or has greater value than another human being. I will say there are some humans that contribute more to society than others. And that's what you want to be. You want to be a person that contributes more to society than the regular average person. Because I got a story to share with you. I am the product of a single mother. I grew up in Alabama. And for most of my life, until I was around 32, I was an average, regular, normal person. I had a job. At the time, I had multiple jobs. At one point, I had 3 jobs. At one point, I worked for 2 years, 7 days a week, and didn't miss a day because I was very much a normal, average, regular person. And then something happened where that life was taken from me. And I got to the point of I had to make a change. And I came across Earl Nightingale. I came across Tony Robbins. I came across Dr. Joseph Murray, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and I entered into a rigorous program of self-education. I moved into a situation where I became more knowledgeable of the world, and I became more aware of who I was as a person. Because here's the thing, and this may be your case. Before, from whatever age up to 32, I didn't know there was more to life. I was completely unaware. I was completely clueless to the things that happen in life. I didn't know about that. And when I fell and I moved into that boarding house, I became exposed to something. And one of the smartest decisions that I made was to self-educate myself, to learn the systems and things. And I actually finessed my way into a job. Hey there, do you want to start a business? Do you want to build something more durable? You want to learn how to set up a S corporation, set up a holding company, set up operating companies, and use all this knowledge to go ahead and to set yourself up to get massive lines of business credit so you can do the things you want to do in your life? Well, I've got a suggestion for you. Go ahead and enroll in the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where we teach you all of that stuff and a lot more. And we have a payment plan, and we have a one and done payment. So go below, check out the video talking about the Corporate Citizen Playbook, and make your enrollment today. Let me share the story with you. One of the things that I did was I created my own reference because I understood that they would check me out, but I didn't think they would check out my reference. So what I did, I got laid off, I came home, I worked on my plan, and I applied for multiple jobs, and I created a specific resume, hand-tailored for that job. And it worked. I got my job at Rent-A-Crate. They brought me in at $38,500, the most money I had ever made in my life. And from that point on, my life has been an upward trajectory. And I discovered some things, because this is something that you may find a little interesting. I went from Rent-A-Crate to panel systems to business environments. I was selling new office furniture, then I sold used office furniture. Then I got in the storage auction business. And the storage auction business, from practical application, made me pretty cheap. It made me really cheap. You want to know why? Because I could go out and literally get a whole new wardrobe for 10 to $100. So from the practical experience of my life, I became just cheap. It made no sense to me to go to a department store and to spend $100 for a shirt. This shirt was like $250. And what happened to me, and this is one of the things that happens to you when you get on the path of personal improvement, growing yourself, creating, building. We'll fast forward, because there was year 1, year 2, year 3 is when the change happened. Year 3 of my intellectual property, digital storage, digital business, I made $1.6 million. And at that point, my life didn't change. At that point, my monthly budget was like $2,000 a month. I had a car that I owned that was paid for. I didn't go out and buy a Lamborghini. I didn't go out and buy a mansion. My lifestyle stayed the same until the next year, which wasn't 1.6. The next year was like 700. And the next year after that was like 500. And I was like, okay, so I can make 500,000 a year. So that year I began to upgrade my lifestyle. I got into a house, I bought another car, because essentially what happens is, and this is some of the things you'll learn here at Personal Capital, is you want to make the money first before you increase your lifestyle. And this is something that I've always done. And I'm going to explain to you why. I have a saying, luxuries once tasted become necessities. I am ruined, as they would say. I could not drive a normal car. I'll tell you the story how I ended up with having a BMW X5M and a Porsche 911 Turbo S. Years and years ago, I had an Audi S4 and I tricked it out. I lowered it, I put an exhaust on it, I had it tuned. Zippy little car. It was a little car with a big, huge V8 in it. And I just got so used to the way that car drove, the way that car rode. I got very, very used to it that when that car had to go into the shop for repair work, I had to rent a car. I will tell you something that's going to sound a little insane. I actually took the rental cars back, not once, not twice, but 4 times, because I couldn't stand the way that they drove. So a month later, I had my first BMW X5M, and since then, I always have 2 cars. That's why I have a BMW X5M 2017, which I don't really drive that much because I'm always in the Porsche, but luxuries once tasted become necessities. And I tell you that story to share with you. I can't go back. I can't go back to living in a regular apartment. I can't go back to living in a regular house. I can't go back to driving regular cars, because this is one of the reasons that I made sure that I could maintain the base level before I upgraded my lifestyle. And what I want to share with you is information, guidelines, wisdom, and insights so you can upgrade your lifestyle, so you can do the things that you need to do so you could be a personal capital person, creating infinite wealth, creating upper level mobility, and living a very grand life. Because, like, once again, as I said in the beginning, if you're a regular person, you want a regular person life, congratulations for knowing what you want. Have a great life. But I will say that personal capital isn't for you, because we're about expanding, making money. You know, at the moment, I do have my wallet on me. This is kind of crazy. But at the moment, I am walking around with $500,000 in credit cards. And this is one of them. This is one. And this is another. And yeah. So let me see. 75, actually 100, 250, and then the two other credit cards. I'm walking around with $300,000 in business credit, 300,000. And once again, this isn't for everyone. This isn't something that everyone would aspire to. This isn't something that the average person would want. But as a hard charging business person, this gives me incredible opportunities, and it gives me incredible leverage. And once again, if you're a regular person, you may not want to have extraordinarily large lines of credit, which is perfectly fine. But I want to make the point that personal capital isn't for you. Hopefully you heard this message. My name is Glendon Cameron, and I will see you guys in the future videos.